Hey guys, it's Biggs. Look at all the hardware behind me. You guys won't guess where I am. Maybe you will, I don't know. But I'm still in PA. I'm with some really dear friends. I'm actually in Allentown or Northampton, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to be having an interview with the convict queen and her manservant Alan. And they're going to talk about all their history and their fish keeping and all their interests and all that stuff. And we're going to have a little talk about all this massive hardware behind me and all the cool stuff. They got some really cool stories to share, guys, so stay tuned. All right, guys, here they are. I'm blocking out Alan because he's not very attractive. But Alan's been busy diligently doing water changes all day for his queen. So I thought, perfect time. We're done. We get to have a chat with him. All right, guys, this is Karen Haas and Alan Rowlings, two legendary fish keepers in the, where are we, northeast?
Northeast, yeah.
Northeast of USA, out of Pennsylvania. If anybody can breed fish, it's these two people here, two extremely capable people, and I thought it'd be a good time that we could talk maybe about your history, how you met each other. You both come from totally different backgrounds, but you both have super passions about fish, different interests, how you got into it, how you came together, and then we're going to delve into all that other stuff behind you there. That's super cool.
Well, I've been keeping fish, like many avid fish keepers, since I was 8, 9 or 10. It was win a fish at a fair, you need a glass house. Got a tank.
That's a bowl or a tank for you guys. He's English.
Oh yes, I'm the British interloper. And water boy. But say, got this tank, and back in the day, didn't have heater stats as they were put on top of televisions. Danger, fire, every day was possible. Never happened, but it was possible.
Your water and electronics often go hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're great bedfellows.
And the goldfish died soon after the fair. And I saw cribs I didn't know there were cribs, breeding and had babies in a store. I had to have them, along with tetras and what have you. So that one 10-gallon tank grew in numbers and numbers and numbers, and it paid for me to get through university because I went into discus, and we're talking 1972-73. Mine were wild discus, none of the excellent colour forms they are now, but I still prefer the wild green teffy, the brown, which is really a red, the blue, the royal blue.
And doing wild discus at the beginning is something you got to give nods to those people that did that stuff. Because what was your biggest tank you had?
At the time, probably 70 gallons.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I always think back and I think about like Rosario's stories and some of these, these pioneers of the aquarium hobby. And these guys are breeding Oscars and convicts and angels and discus. And the big tank they could have is like a 20-gallon with like a rock bottom and it's metal sides.
Yeah, the metal side one weren't available in the UK. Well, not the sort of meta frames you see here.
Yeah.
But so there were square angled iron.
Yeah, like the old Jewel aquariums.
Yeah. And that got me through university. I left university without any debt, which even
not many people can say that.
Back then that was horrendous. Went on to get married, first time, and came home from work one day, and the ex-wife had put formaldehyde in every discus tank. I'm heartbroken. Needless to say, the marriage didn't last much longer.
See, in the country in Canada, we always carry a shovel in the car.
So
and we always have a bag of lye, just available just for such purposes that things should come up. Maybe frowned upon in the UK, I don't know.
Maybe we haven't got quite some we haven't got quite so much free land over there.
Yep.
And then I got my own house eventually, and effectively I lived in a fish house, a house full of fish tanks, and just one small bedroom for me.
Paradise.
Paradise, yeah.
Yep.
And made great friendships, and then somebody told me about the ACA. So I came over, and I've been coming over ever since, until one day I was at the North Jersey Aquarium Society 60th anniversary bash, and there was a little girl sat right at the back in a green top, and that was history.
Yep.
I got
Never look back.
I got the bruise on my forehead. You will do the water changes
Yeah. Which you have done diligently today.
today. Today's an unusual day. No.
Alan worked very hard.
All right, what's your story?
How I got into fish.
It's almost identical to his with the beginnings, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Except Alan's father encouraged him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't say that my family was encouraging. My mother did like goldfish, but that all started because we brought the goldfish home from the fair and had it in the bowl. And then, you go to the pet shop to try to find something to keep it alive longer than a week. And she fell in love with black moors with the big googly eyes.
Yep.
And of course, they never lasted long because you kept them in too small of a tank. And so I started, well, as a kid, we went to the library more often back then, and I read just about every book in the library, I think, on tropical fish. Brought them, checked the books out 2 or 3 times.
You got a pretty serious collection of books behind you that we've been talking about for the past couple of days. You
Yes.
You got books that I'm envious of there, and you've read them all.
And then I convinced my mother that we needed to stay away from the goldfish because they poop up the tank and dirty the tank more than tropical fish. So then we started keeping tropical fish. And the first tank we had was the 10-gallon Metaframe with the stainless steel corners, the slate bottom, and it had an old Dynaflow pump, and it had this motor that slid on the bottom that you could take on and off the box that hung on the outside. And the rainbow gravel, there was a 3D plastic background for the back that had fluorescent purple
Now,
highlights.
this isn't the 3D backgrounds like you guys are excited about today that you put inside the tank. They look all natural and biotopic and stuff with all the rocks and driftwood. Oh no, this was a formed piece of plastic.
Plastic,
That was like
black
3D,
plastic.
and it went on the outside of the tank, and it often had like horribly painted fish
Horribly.
and stuff.
Yes, and let's see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, and a stainless steel incandescent light bulb. For
Yeah, the
a
canopy,
reflector
yeah.
for a hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and had did the usual stuff. Angelfish, different tetras, coolie loaches, I remember. The red-tailed black shark. We had a fiddler crab, a couple of fiddler crabs, and they crawl out. And then my mother would be screaming because she'd find them running across the floor.
And like 2/3 of the fish you mentioned would not be suitable for a 10-gallon tank ever.
Made all the usual mistakes.
But you guys are known, just a tour in your fish room, and I know this fish room that we just looked at now, it's still in the very much building phases right now. You guys just recently moved in, and you're extremely active with your aquarium societies. You guys are going to, you're members of what, 4 clubs, 5 clubs, 6 clubs?
I think we still have membership in maybe 4 clubs.
Yeah, and you guys go to most of the meetings, and all your clubs are within an hour to 2 hours drive, and you both work full-time, you both work completely opposite hours. You work in the late at night, you work during the daytime, hence why he does most of the maintenance, and he's a good husband.
No, I'm a good water boy.
Yeah, but
I know hide now.
you guys keep a really, really cool eclectic. Now, you talked about some of these fish we were talking about earlier, and they might be showing up later in the video, that some of these were mercy bids, but mercy bids or not, you guys have developed a bit of a name for yourselves in the specialty stuff that you do, not just cichlids, but live bears and other things, and you've got a lot of species that are probably found in maybe only a handful of tanks in this entire North America.
That's quite likely true.
Yeah. Doesn't mean they're good.
No, doesn't mean that they're brilliant, but Karen is a fantastic fish keeper.
Yeah.
I'm good, she's great.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to have met her because I was pure cichlids, pure Mexican, maybe a few other South and Central Americans. Then I came over here, besotted, and
That's a word.
that's a word, yes.
That's a word.
It's like Ferrari.
Which isn't a word either. I'm going to have to get the spelling for that and put that on the screen. Besotted.
Besotted.
Do we have to consult what it means? Are we okay on family or Family Channel here?
Oh, it's a family channel,
Oh,
yes.
besotted?
And she introduced me to live bearers, plecos that breed every 5 minutes.
For her.
For her.
Yeah. When you got the magic touch, all of a sudden all sorts of stuff breeds for you.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't breed if you didn't do the water changes. Do your fish too.
But when I go collecting in our tanks, everything comes out.
Yeah.
And then shirt comes off. And then I'm lathered in perspiration to catch one fish this size, and I've caught every other fish in the tank.
So what's your guys? You guys, I asked you guys this earlier before we did it on video and stuff, but your fish room downstairs, it's a big fish room, and I know it's evolving. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up, and by maybe next time I come by, it might be totally different again. But you guys don't actually have, these are Karen's tanks and these are Alan's tanks. You guys just have it. It's just kind of a free for all downstairs right now.
Yeah.
Or is that what you want to get to?
No.
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 We talked about it, and when we were moving in, it was kind of like, okay, these are going to be Alan's tanks, and these are going to be Karen's tanks, but it just never works out that way because we both enablers of each other, and it's hard to say no when somebody says, "Ooh, I really want that fish, and that one's on my bucket list." And
Yeah, or somebody comes home from auctions because I work Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
Then I'll suddenly go to what was my tank. What the hell is that?
I'm gonna guess it's a brown or silver fish.
Often.
well, you like brown and silverfish.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with them if they come from the right part of the world.
Yeah. What would you guys either of you be able to pick off? This is gonna put you on the spot. Karen, what's your favorite fish? Or favorite fish that gives you a memory that I just remembered breeding this or something? What would be your favorite fish?
And it doesn't have to be what I have in the tanks now.
No.
Does it have to be one I bred?
This is just YouTube. It can be whatever you want. You can just say, the coolest experience or something you've never kept. Maybe it gives us insight into how your brain works. Be an exceptional fish keeper that you are, it gives us an idea of, okay, I can kind of see where she's going here. We could put the Jeopardy music on, but it's copyrighted, It wasn't supposed to take 3 minutes. It was supposed to be a quick one.
Well,
all right.
you
There's no
think I'll
favorite.
answer.
Yeah, go ahead, you answer.
All right, Alan.
Mine, Limbochromis robertsii. A West African, soft water, hard as heck to breed.
Limbochromis.
Limbochromis.
We'll have to look that one up in Anton's book. We'll put Anton's book here up on the screen here somewhere, but you guys should get that. If you're going to try and figure out and decipher all the stuff that these guys are talking about with all these West African cichlids, there's really one good book that you're going to want to get. And we'll put that up on the screen for you and how to get it.
And one of the reasons we've probably at the moment concentrating on West Africans, along with all the others, is that some European said that Karen did not know enough about
Yes.
fish and West African fish.
I didn't point that out whatsoever last year during my trivia talk. I would never make mention of that whatsoever.
Yeah, but you make sure Karen's not in the room nowadays when you do your trivia questions at the end of a talk.
Yeah, she kind of dominated one last year, didn't she?
Yeah, just about.
All right, Karen, you got one figured out?
Yes, my favorite fish, electric catfish.
That's the wrong fish ever.
I had one. I loved him. His name was Mr. Snuffleupagus, one of the few fish that we named. And
It was bigger than Jelly Belly.
That's another fish downstairs.
you know,
They have these unique names for certain fish. Jelly belly is a jelly cat, right? It's a
Yes.
giant. Well, it's not a giant. It's a super predator catfish, right?
Yeah, but the nice thing about it is it doesn't get 3 feet.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay maybe 14 inches max.
Yeah.
on
I need a
big
fish
one.
that's 12 inches, right? They eat
Yeah.
almost. They can almost eat a fish almost
anything
their
that's
size.
smaller than them, they'll take.
Yeah.
But a Snuffleupagus.
The nice thing about him, I could put smaller fish with him. Most people will think, oh, you got an electric catfish, you can't put any fish with him.
Yeah.
I had convicts, I think I
He had
had some.
Hemicromus species Moanda that spawned in whilst they were in the same tank as him.
I don't remember that, but
Well,
I
they'd come
remember-
from the
That's
same
right.
sort of region because the African electric cat is African.
Yes.
I never kept, but I worked with an electric eel. It was 3 feet, and I worked in that tank diligently for years at one of the stores I worked at when I was younger, and the old Metaframe tanks,
Oh,
under
that's
gravel
not
filter
good.
with power heads and heater, and it was always shorting out heaters, but it never did anything. And you could clean his tank and do his tank, and I knew it was electric, but I didn't know it was electric. And it hit me, or I touched it, or something. I don't remember. I have no recollection of it whatsoever. So I'm recounting the story based on what everybody told me, but it stopped my heart. And it was like standing on a landmine. I got thrown out of the tank. I don't remember any of it, but it stopped my heart.
Yeah.
So some of those animals, and electric catfish would be on my list of ones that they command a bit of respect, and I'd give it a little bit of a wide berth. Maybe I'd use a wooden-handled net.
Yes, to take him to a fish show was a wooden handle net and rubber gloves.
Yeah.
And, had at 18 inches, when he got to that size, I had to give him a little respect. But I could do tank maintenance and have my hand in there. But when he got about an inch away with his whiskers, I
could
could
feel
start feeling the tingle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Andy won Best in Show
at the Catfish Convention.
Convention.
Okay.
And that's where we met.
You guys were telling me that you guys have literally boxes of plaques and ribbons and whatnot. So this is only the creme de the creme that's out here. What are some of your most cherished awards that you guys have here? What are they from?
Ooh. Obviously, there's a plaque certificate for the Best in the Catfish Show that Karen
Oh,
won.
that's this one.
That's that one.
I like the pictures. You know, you
Yeah.
can hang them on the wall, and they're very beautiful.
That's an original drawing by Ian Fuller.
Fuller,
Yeah,
yes.
that's not a print or
Watercolor.
anything. Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen like the shows that I go to in Canada. I've never seen anybody award trophies anymore. There's a lot of trophies in here. So are these all like best in shows or
Most of them come from the Clash,
Keystone Clash.
Keystone Clash.
Yep.
North Jersey Aquarium Society. They
Yep.
used to have a fish show.
okay?
Um,
What's the real big one at the
ACA.
back?
real big one in the back.
Was that
You
total
have to
points?
look.
I have to look.
I gotta look. Keystone Clash show champion, most points for an individual in 2016.
Oh. See, I don't know why you'd have to look. You think, your water boy would be sitting there dusting the trophy mantle daily for you to keep his queen appeased. No?
No.
And we brought over 50 fish to the show.
That
Entered
show,
over
yeah.
50 fish or other items in the show.
And most of them probably placed. Because you had to get points to get them to that point, right?
Yes, well, you got a couple points just for entering each fish, but you get extra points for actually
But we
winning
also
and
got the
placing.
best cichlids show that year with the Lamprologus congoensis.
Yeah.
Ted Judy had never seen one that big without fin damage.
Yeah.
And
Is
it
that the
was a wild
same
caught.
one that would have been in the Clash event this past week?
It's not the same fish, it's the
Oh,
same
okay.
family, and it's probably a descendant of.
That one that was in the show was huge.
Yeah, the males would get maybe 6 inches.
Yeah, this thing was big. It was all of 6 inches. What's your favorite one there, Alan? Whether you want it or not.
We got awarded that for there was a Central American that we had that won. Oh, Naloteo.
And they gave you an award of a Madagascar cichlid.
Yeah. Because it's whatever some Scots sent in.
Yep. That was a cichlid species.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And that's considered extinct in the wild.
It's Olacanthicus.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the insulatus.
Yep.
How about this one?
Members of the Year for CARES program.
For the ace.
What is the CARES program?
It's a collective throughout the country for conservation,
Yep.
awareness,
Yep.
resources, education, and the S can be many things, but we look at it as shareability.
Okay.
We share as many of our CARES fish that we successfully spawn throughout our clubs.
Yeah, that seems to be the biggest challenge, is finding a method of actually distribution of those species, right?
And then Karen does a lot of admin, sort of keeping up to date on the CARES program site.
Yep.
And so people that do get them can have them grandfathered in, because we've had them and had them pre-registered.
And you guys, I noticed downstairs, there's many species downstairs that are Cares fish. It tends to be something you have a strong interest in, and you try to maintain them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And especially like the live bears and stuff like that, they're perfect because you can keep them long term, many generations over top of other fish.
It's like the fish we gifted this weekend, the Leonzi. They are a cur fish.
Yep.
Amphilophus leonzi. We were lucky. We had 3 pairs in an 150-gallon tank.
Yep.
2 of the pairs spawned in the same tank.
Yeah, and they're a big, rambunctious species.
No, we never had them as... People said Amphilophus have the reputation of being...
That they kill each other.
Yeah,
but
battlers.
Yeah.
These were really gentle.
Yeah.
A gentle giant.
Yeah.
And beautifully coloured.
Yeah. Well, as you guys can tell, I had an absolute blast with Alan and Karen. I have actually more videos that are going to be coming up on. I'm going to actually give you a full tour of their fish room, but the interview, the video, honestly, I've got 3 or 4 more things going to be coming down the pipe. Karen is an avid antique collector and stuff, not just antiques, but aquatic related antiques. And we sat down at the kitchen table one day and looked at a bunch of really cool stuff. And I thought that's going to be some kind of a unique little video we're going to put out in the future. But I don't want to just go and give you guys a full Karen and Alan overload, because you guys aren't ready for that yet. It was a great time. They were amazing hosts. I had an absolute blast. But it's really cool for me to be able to bring this guys to you. Now, to end it kind of up for today, Karen and Alan also have a YouTube page called Temple of Poseidon. It's right there. They have a Facebook page, Temple of Poseidon, right there. And Karen's fish and Alan's fish, Karen actually sells on Aquabid quite regularly under the seller name right there. So you guys go check them out. You already know the quality of the fish is there. They're absolutely legendary breeders. One from across the pond, one from just south of Canada. These 2 people came together, and they are definitely the dynamic duo of Karen Haas and Alan Rawlings. They're both aces, guys. Thank you for watching.